Bold and beautiful cosmetic scientist Cheryl Jumbo, who is also founder of Black Beauty Fashion Awards, is our guest on Lifestyle with Fiifi.
For me, beauty touches in various parts of my life, and beauty has to radiate from inside.
The multi-talented lady shared what motivated her in the establishment of Black Beauty Fashion Awards.
Black Beauty and Fashion Awards came from a feeling of social exclusion. You know, it's been reported that on average, Black women spend 5 times more than our peers.
Cheryl was born in Scotland by Nigerian parents.
Hey Cherry, you're from Nigeria, right? I said, yeah, I am. She goes, right, there's a lady. She's interviewing the girls to take them to Nigeria. However, there's some bombing going on. There's this terrorist group called Boko Haram. But you're Nigerian, right? You know, you can go.
Cheryl and Fiifi also share their candid opinions on issues concerning the Black community at large.
So I also realized that we have a socio-economic issue as well. The industry is worth millions and in some cases billions, but yet we're not sort of part of that income that is being generated or revenue. You know, the thing about culture, you know, we overlook it. We talk about black and white, and we know we're not white and we're not black, but these are terms used for politics to group us. Positively or negatively, it just depends on the situation. Our Caribbean brothers and sisters and our African brothers and sisters, when I came from Scotland, there was this great divide. And this is where culture comes into play. That is what has helped to heal some of that rift or that gap. Our music, you know, our films.
And we do have our beautiful lady Cherry in the building. It's Black History Month, guys, and it's a great honor to have the founder of BBFA here with us.
The Black Beauty and Fashion Awards.
Yeah!
Thank you so much, Fiifi.
You're welcome.
And we're both matching.
Yeah,
I love it. We're not matching, complementing.
Real male.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were so fashionable, Fiifi.
I am. It's something to scare people. Cherry, I know a lot of people in the beauty industry and the cosmetic industry, fashion industry, might know you. But I don't think all my viewers on my channel will know you. So who is Cherry?
Well, you know, that is a very vast question. You know, I'm as deep and as vast as the ocean.
Yeah.
No, I would say that first and foremost, I'm an African girl, Nigerian. I was made in Scotland by Nigerians, so I'm also Scottish. I was born and bred actually in Scotland and lived there for most of my sort of childhood. I would say I'm family orientated. I'm one of 6 siblings. I have 4 girls in the family, 2 boys. My parents live in Essex. We're looking forward to a family wedding. Actually, my brother's getting married.
Oh, wow.
I would say that I am a dreamer, I am a doer, I am a creator. I'm someone that likes to support also other talent and people. I'm a champion for the underdog, I've noticed as well.
I like the phrase that you said you are a doer.
Yes.
Most of the times as creatives, we just dream, and making those dreams in reality is something that a lot of us cannot do. And I like the point that you said you are a doer.
Yes.
Of which
yes.
I know you're a doer. So,
yes.
I mean, I'll let you flow.
Thank you, thank you. So, you know, when we say, I like that you said as well that we dream. Many of us dream, and even to dream for some people, it's hard actually.
Yeah.
Because if you can dream it, then you can conceive it. If you can conceive it, then potentially you can do it. And a lot of us do rest in our dream phase. Sometimes taking that step forward into the unknown can be quite daunting. So maybe we can add a little bit of bravery to the list of who am I. I mean, I'm a brave.
We go there.
I'm a brave lady.
Don't spoil the story. We go there.
So family orientated. I'm a creator. I'm a dreamer. I'm a doer. I'm someone that supports people in my community and beyond. and I believe in the value of friendship too. I would like to say that I'm a good friend to those who are my friends. Yeah.
So what got Cherry into the cosmetic side of fashion?
Yeah, so I became a cosmetic scientist. Before I did that, so what led me into doing that? So I was studying sound engineering. Yes, I know, right? Sound engineering. I love music. I love the idea of, creating tunes. We were using Cubase back then. And apparently female engineers were like gold dust. So I thought, my parents were Nigerian, read your books. We can't do anything else but read your books, no play, just read. So I thought they'll be proud of me if I became a sound engineer. But I was struggling a lot with the physics side of it. I realized that I love biology, I love chemistry. My mother was a midwife for many of my years growing up, and she used to leave her biology and midwifery books around the house, and I just found that I just have a love of science, actually. So one day, whilst shopping for some beauty products, I think it was a foundation, and those women that look like me will know that it can be quite challenging to find your colour. So I was speaking to a lovely American, vivacious beauty consultant, and while she was serving me, she just took a look at me and said, "What are you doing? What are you doing with your life?" I think she wanted to use that to kind of help her make a decision on what would suit me, colours and things like that. So I told her I was studying sound engineering, and she just stopped and says, "Oh, no. I don't see that. I see you in the beauty industry." And I just thought, really? Seems a bit fickle. I wasn't really sure about anything to do with beauty. I'd always seen my mum wear makeup, and actually I would say that one of my earliest memories of my mother was her walking down the drive to church in some killer high heels. And I was like, I can't wait to be able to wear that. So I went away, I thought about it. I thought, let me get a little part-time job doing something in the beauty industry. So I started working for a fashion fair, cosmetics, and I was learning to do makeup and selling the products. And I started to take an interest in the business side of things. I thought, people are coming here every day. They're buying lots of products and they're not cheap. Why do they keep coming back, month after month? And I realized that we're selling them pots of promise. It's not about a cream, but we're selling your dream. You're buying a better version of yourself, a version of yourself that you will like more, So I saw these as pots of promise, and I also looked at the business side of things, and I could see that, this is a good industry to be in. You can get a good job, you can be paid well. Yeah. So around that time, the London College of Fashion had just introduced the first of its kind course in the United Kingdom. It was called Cosmetic Science course, and it was the only university offering it. Luckily, it was in London. So I signed up. I had to make sure that I had top marks in chemistry and biology, because you're learning how to formulate chemicals that would be applied to the skin. So I had to learn things like dermatology, microbiology, chemistry, microbiology, because you're mixing water and microbes and all of these sorts of things. So it was a very in-depth course, and it covered things like raw materials, the packaging, testing of products, evaluating their performance to make sure that they performed in the way that you expected them to. So I found it a very exhilarating course, very exciting. I learned a lot.
Combining your sound engineering?
No, I dropped the sound engineering, and
You found a new love.
I found a new love, exactly. And it really did set me on a course that I find myself today. So I'm quite grateful to that lady who stopped me and said, "Oh, no.
And I like the fact that you didn't just go into the fashion to just be a consultant, but you added some value to your CV as the cosmetic scientist.
But also bearing in mind being of Nigerian heritage, I couldn't have said I'm a beauty consultant. My mum would have flogged me. At least I'm a scientist.
our African parents and the book and the university life. You must go to university.
Yes.
Both of us went to university for our
They said,
mom.
do they do beauty consultant at university? So I signed up, did the course, and became a scientist. And it's really helped me because I see beauty as a tool of empowerment. If you look good, you feel better about yourself. You're usually more beautiful when you're well. So for me, beauty touches in various parts of my life, and I don't see my beauty as outward. My beauty has to radiate from inside. I remember when I was about 17, 18, I said to myself, you think you're kind of cute, okay. What if you had a car accident and you lost a leg or you lost an eye? Would a man still marry you? What do you possess as a treasure that makes you valuable, not just what beauty that people perceive from your external, So beauty is not skin deep, but depending how well you take care of yourself, it can definitely take you or elevate you. And I believe in putting your best foot forward. So
you're also into IT.
I am. I'm a product owner.
Wow.
So I've been building software solutions. One of my last roles was with NHS Digital, building something to help people have a better quality of life when it comes to their health. So I'm pleased about that. Yes.
All round lady.
Yes.
Now let's talk about the BBF Awards, of which your 88 Live is proud to announce that we are now media partners for future activities of BBF Awards. How did the journey all begin?
Okay, so, as I mentioned, I come from quite a large family, 6 of us, and, you notice over a period of time how much skin cream you're going through, how much hair extensions you're going through, and, we're always adorning ourselves and trying to improve the way that we look, and also adding the fact that I'm an African woman. When it comes to any events, we have kind of rituals, we don't just go to a shop and buy something off the rack, we go and buy fabric, we get our measurements taken, it's made to perfection to fit us,
If it doesn't fit well, it goes back to
goes back.
whoever made it.
And they fix it.
Please, my mom will wear the dress, walk in, dance in it. I'll go like, are you going?
It's got to be able to withstand the pressure.
I was like, your rehearsing dancing there at church was like, you don't know what you go through, get off.
Oh, that's excellent. So it came, I think the beauty, Black Beauty and Fashion Awards came from a feeling of social exclusion.
Okay.
It's been reported that on average, Black women, in the UK at least, and in the States, because that's where we have these statistics, spend 5 times more than our peers, Caucasian peers.
And before we go even into the statistics, I do have a video so that we can delve into that.
Okay.
Guys, watch this video.
In Africa, the revenue generated in the cosmetics market in 2024 is estimated to be $8.52 billion. This market segment is projected to experience an annual growth rate of 7.21%. It's estimated that the Black British community has a spending power of £300 billion, yet only 2% of this is spent within Black businesses. In 2023, Black consumer spending on beauty products amounted to $9.4 billion, with dollar unit and household growth for the U.S. at large. Beauty is an important category for Black shoppers.
So, from the statistics, you see how much Black women spend, the expenditure of Black women in the beauty industry.
Yes.
And I know this is not strange to you.
No. And touching upon that, that's why I felt that we need something to elevate our voices. We have an unassailable right to inclusion here. And considering that we're spending on average 5 times more than our peers, why are we not marketed to? Why don't I know what the best product is for me? I've invested so much in this industry. And I began to realize that our voices, I guess, are not valued, So I wanted to use a platform to help men and women that are interested in grooming products know what is the best product for them, judged by people that look like you, people that would use the products in the way that you would use them, and also, I guess, after being able to give consumers a voice and let them know where they're spending their money. So with that contribution to the UK economy, I thought, we have an unassailable right to inclusion. So I wanted to give a voice to the consumers. What are the best products for your hair, for your skin? If you have this particular problem, where should you be buying these products? Are these products safe? What are the ingredients that they've used in them? So as well as helping them to know what's best for them and what's available in the market, because no one is taking the time to advertise to us. And I also realized that we have a socio-economic issue as well, that the industry is worth millions and in some cases billions, but yet we're not sort of part of that that pie. We're not eating and benefiting from that income that is being generated, or revenue that's being generated. So I'm eager to see more of us as part of the supply chain, whether you're a cosmetic scientist, whether you are producing raw materials, whether you're providing packaging solutions or testing the efficacy of products if they're safe and appropriate for use. I would like to see us benefiting from our hair and beauty and not just being consumers. So the Black Beauty and Fashion Awards is a platform that celebrates our unique beauty and also shines a spotlight on the hard work that takes place year on year in the industry.
Even during the lockdown, you did not give up.
No.
Like, I'm going to make this awards beautiful. And I saw another version of you, TV.
Okay.
What's happening? Before then, you talked about radio. How did you get into radio though?
So my radio experience...
You talked about it with me offset.
Yes.
My viewers would like to know.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So I just happened to go into the radio because I was clubbing with my partner at the time. We were out with his friend, kind of like a couple's night out. We were dancing in the club. This lovely lady sort of walks over to us, wondering, does she want to chat with my boyfriend, or what's going on here? Yeah. It's not that kind of party. But she was so sweet, and she said, I love your dance moves, and I'm doing a performance and my dance is not well. Would you be a backing dancer? And I took a look at her, looked at my boyfriend, I thought, is she serious? Dancing in the club is quite different to not being on stage as a professional dancer.
She saw something good in you that you yourself did not know that you could dance.
I guess she did. So I said, I voiced my concerns. She said, don't worry, there'll be a choreographer, there'll be rehearsals, you will be prepared before we do our live performance. So I said, okay, I'm quite open as a person. That's one thing I've learned about myself. I'm quite an open person. So I said yes. So it just so happens, I won't drop any name, but it was quite a famous performer, artist. And I didn't realise it was for a Commonwealth event. So we had all these dignitaries and all sorts going on. And I was on stage with my waist beads, doing the dance that we'd practiced for weeks. And luckily it went well. So as I was coming down from the stage, you network, you get to meet some of the audience, and that's, I guess, the payoff as well. So one of the guys says to me, have you ever thought of being on the radio? And I was like, radio, dancing, what is inspiring this line of conversation? Does he want my phone number? What's going on? So he was quite persistent. So I thought, you know what, being open, let me just take his phone number. Maybe we'll talk about it. I didn't get in contact with him because I was a bit skeptical. But one evening I was out with my partner. We were having dinner and he noticed a gentleman just staring at our table. So he says, do you know that guy? And I said, no, babe, I don't. So after a short while, he went to the restroom and this guy came over and sat down, and I realised I recognised him from the Commonwealth event. And he says, I gave him my phone number to come on the radio. He didn't get in touch with me. I was like, but are you serious? He's like, yes.
I just came to dance. Now you're going to give me another profession.
So he says, look, I'm deadly serious. I want you to go home after you're done here, research a topic that interests you, make some notes about it, and come to the station on such and such day at such and such time, and we'll talk about it on air. So I did that, and I realized I really enjoyed this. And, initially, it can be a bit nerve-wracking, doing something like that. You've got thousands or millions of people listening to you, and you don't really know whether you're coming across in the right way. So I was a little nervous, but I soon settled in and realised I like this. So I took it to the next level and decided to go back to studies, and I decided to become a qualified radio producer. So I did that for a while. I stayed on Niger FM for a few years. I did a talk show called Talk Time with Cherry. I love music. I did the sound engineering for a while. So I incorporated music, old school. I love 90s genre, so I played quite a bit of that, but I have quite eclectic taste, so a bit of everything, and then I mix in some conversation with some pertinent questions, because I do like some controversial topics, get people thinking, maybe enlighten some of our listeners with some really thought-provoking topics. And then we had Thursday Night Live as well, so I did that for a few years on Niger FM, Vox Africa, and then I also, when I was in Nigeria, went on to Rhythm FM.
Oh,
Rhythm
I
FM.
used to listen to Rhythm way back. I also did radio for almost 6 years.
What was your radio name? Did you have one?
Empire FM.
Empire FM,
Yes.
okay. And what was your name? Did you have were you called Fiifi, or did you have a radio persona?
No, I was behind the scene.
Okay.
When you talked about getting on radio and having this mindset that you have thousands of people listening to you, I also had that mindset. But one thing is, I'm a programs manager and I'm a producer, so I direct them. So it was a holiday. So the off-air staffs were the ones to sit in.
Okay.
And they handed me a news item for me to read.
Okay, they threw you in the deep end.
They were like, you sit in your producer's lounge and you'll be giving us, do this, do that. I was like, that's what I've been paid to do. You're being paid to talk. So do your talking and let me be my producer.
Yes.
So I like listening to rhythms, which is, I would say, one of the biggest radio brands in Nigeria. I used to listen to rhythms just to know how the competition or the whole radio industry in Nigeria and you get to learn how other radio stations are sounding or how other radio stations programming are going, and you are able to adapt to it and make changes to it and how
inspiration and yes.
And I got the whole concept of more of music formats and less talk from rhythms.
Okay.
More in Ghana, radio stations were more of heavy on talk during the morning show, but I got that lifestyle kind of vibe, and I was able to incorporate that into the radio station that I was setting up in Ghana. So I set up a radio station from scratch.
Oh, that is
getting
fantastic.
The presenters, doing the programming and everything.
Okay.
And became one of the successful urban radio in my city.
I love that.
Yeah.
Check you out.
When I had graduated from uni, so my background is radio.
Okay.
I used to skip. My mom is watching. I used to skip school days just to listen to radio.
Naughty boy.
Yeah, just to listen to radio. I love radio since I was a child.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah. Okay, so we've got quite a bit in common, Fiifi.
Yeah, we have.
Okay.
So, and you got into the radio rhythm?
Yeah, Rhythm FM. And at the time, I was quite lucky. There was quite a few events. So we had Big Brother Africa.
Wow,
so
that's my favorite reality show.
It's so controversial though in Africa compared to the UK ones.
Most head of states have made Africa a place home that is worth bringing a lot of diasporans from America, from Britain, from the Caribbean into the country, like my country, Ghana, for instance, of which Dirty December is a big thing in Ghana.
What was that name? Dirty as in Dirty Diana? Dirty December. Okay.
It's supposed to be
Tell
dirty.
me more. I've heard of the Year of the Return.
Okay, it's the young version of the Year of Return.
Okay.
The year of return. You know why I started laughing? Because for us that we're going in, we consider the year of return. And the Gen Zs had to twist it to be dirty December because they are going into December to just go and party. So the year of return, so of which has attracted a lot of diasporans from America, from Britain. The time that you went to Nigeria, I don't know how to call your voyage, whether deadly or adventurous,
reckless
or risky voyage.
Yeah. There was no call at that time to come back. I just decided I'm going.
Okay. The story is very inspiring. So I'll let you share it to my audience.
So I've been involved in the beauty industry for some time, and through my networking, I've got some amazing acquaintances and business associates. So there's one lady in particular from China, and so she called me one day. She has a great beauty salon and business in Northwest London. She calls me. She says, "Hey Cherry, you're from Nigeria, right?" I said, "Yeah, I am." She goes, "Right, there's a lady. She's interviewing the girls." Her staff to take them to Nigeria to help train her staff in Nigeria and help establish a beauty business. However, there's some bombing going on. There's this terrorist group called Boko Haram. But you're Nigerian, right? You can go.
So what happened is the other ladies from the other races decided not to go.
They're not going.
And they remember that there's a certain Cherry on the list who is Nigerian. So you should go.
So she should go. Yeah, she should go and face Boko Haram.
To be honest, I'm really proud of you.
Oh, thank you.
As an African, that at that moment, you did not decide to go like, I'm going to be selfish.
I'm from Scotland.
Yeah, I'm from Scotland. What does I know about Africa? Let the bombing be there. But I'm so proud of you that you took it upon yourself to come to Africa. I was in Africa at that time during that stages of the Boko Haram era, and you came over to train my fellow African ladies.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
African, I'm proud of you for doing that.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's also taught me something that when I say I'm going to do something, when I put my mind to it, there's nothing that can shake me from it. So I was in church, I was heading off not too long after Christmas, actually. And in Abuja, there had been several bombs going off. So I was in church with my family that Sunday morning, and my best friend sent me a video, and it was footage from the bombing. They were carrying women out of the church. It was, a wreck. And I saw the video, this is what's going on, wow, My friend said, are you still going? Are you sure?
Do you want to change your mind? Okay, can you call the airline that you're not going?
But I said, no, I'm going. Like, but why? I just,
Why?
I'd made up my mind, and, I've committed myself to this. And, I also said, when there's trouble at the front, I will be at the back. And when there's trouble at the back, I'll be at the front. And I believe that wholeheartedly. Nothing could shake me from going to this place. Number one, I was born in Scotland. I'd lived there for most of my my childhood. As I just approached my teenage life, I came to the UK. There was a question about, who am I? What's my identity? I guess black people sounded a particular way. They spoke a particular way. They dressed a particular way. I'm a Scots lass. And I'm a Scots lass. And
where is she from?
That was the reaction I got. People like, whoa. Did she just say that? And people would randomly stop me in the street. Could you repeat that? Some people would ask me when I'm in conversation, why are you singing? It was...
It's not even occurred to me that Birmingham, people in Manchester, black they have a different accent.
Yeah, they do.
So sometimes my friends will be, oh, she's from, how did you know? Oh, because of the way.
You can pick up,
I'm like, okay.
And the thing about this Scottish accent is so thick and broad, and I'll be like, you're an 8-hand, here, use law. And they'd be like, what? It comes to the turn. You're like, there, lass. You know, and I could do the Highland fling. You know, I had my tartans, I had my tartan kill. I loved it. I was a Scottish girl, I didn't know anything else. So when I got here, people were so confused. And they couldn't identify with me.
Did that have any effect on you as a black, as an African?
Do you know what? I think because I was the only black girl on my street and the only black girl in Scotland, I was used to being different. And being different was okay.
Yeah, okay.
It was absolutely fine. So when I came to London and I didn't fit in, I was like, but it's okay to be different.
Yeah.
You know? And then I also noticed there was a great divide between the Caribbeans and the Africans.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, if you come to Scotland, you're all the same. You're here fighting. But go to Scotland, you're just another black person, you know? Yeah. So I could understand it. And I actually found myself telling little porkies that I'm half Caribbean, half African, because if I didn't want to take a side. I didn't understand what the divide was about. So I just pretended to be half and half, and I'm friends with everybody.
Let's talk about the division over. I mean, do you think do you think there's still...
It's getting better.
It's getting better.
Much better. Yeah. I think, the thing about culture, we overlook it. And, we talk about black and white. And we know we're not white and we're not black, but these are terms used for politics to group us. Positively or negatively, it just depends on the situation, When it comes to, let's say, the Black Beauty and Fashion Awards, black is something that unites us. So whether you're from the Caribbean, if you're from Brazil, if you're from the UK.
I thought you were Caribbean.
Oh, there we go. I got that waist.
Because one thing that I always see is when I see my fellow black person, I think, okay, I can identify myself with the person. I don't go asking the person, where are you from? Which part of the continent are you from? Which part of the black world, or which part of Africa are you from? Which part of the Caribbean are you from? I think connecting with my fellow black person is more to do with, I see you as someone that we share the same heritage, we share the same culture, we have the same ancestors. That is how I connect to my fellow black person, not thinking of, where are you coming from? Are you Nigerian? Are you Ghanaian? Are you from Kenya? Before I can open up to you.
Absolutely, and it shouldn't be like that at all. But at the same time, so we were talking about something, but I'll come back to that. You'll remind me about that. But at the same time, so Nigeria, for example, where I'm from Bonny Kingdom, River State, Port Harcourt, okay? So River State has 350 different ethnicities, different ethnic groups, but we're all a similar shade. Whereas in the UK, ethnicity seems to be depicted by skin color, but that's not what ethnicity is. So actually, we need to be united, but we can only be better united with better understanding of each other. Because what you don't understand, you're afraid of, So, I'm curious about where you are from as an African brother. I can learn a bit from you. So, you have kente cloth. It's indigenous to Ghana. And in different parts of Ghana, you have a slightly different cloth, Nigeria, we have over 500 different languages and so many different groups of people. So we are like a massive melting pot. We're more diverse than the UK is, actually. So, but there can be a discord where you don't understand who your neighbor is, like a Yoruba. So I'm going to speak specifically about Nigerian culture and tradition. So a Yoruba family and tradition would expect you to prostrate as a sign of respect when you come to a man's house, or elder, right? Now, if you're not aware of that, You can go into your man's house, shake his hand with the greatest of respect and be disrespecting him. So actually asking these questions, understanding a bit more about the nuances, gives us a greater understanding of the differences, but we can celebrate them. They don't have to divide us, the differences.
And even as you said, it's getting better now. You see a lot of Jamaicans going back to Ghana. You see a lot of Jamaicans
Gambia, relocating. Absolutely.
I'm super proud of myself to call myself an African. That at this time we are becoming more conscious and more accommodating to our brothers and sisters in other regions, of which it's their right.
Yes.
I always say it's their right to be back home.
Absolutely.
Because the history help us to learn the mistakes of our past, of which I'm happy that most presidents are doing now. They are giving citizenship to some than other things, of which there was a news article. There was a time some Americans went to Ghana. These ladies, they went to twerk at the castle, of which I personally did not like it. But I saw some comments that they were like, "Oh, these Americans." I was like, "No,
we can't wash them all with can't wash everybody."
I was like, no. Look, guys, they have every right to come to this country. This is the fact that you own a Ghanaian passport, a passport manufactured or invented by a certain race just to divide us, just to stop us from coming to his country, does not give you the right to go like all American.
Yes.
Just stick to those ladies dancing and don't generalize it. It is their right. It's their natural right to come to Africa.
Yes. Yeah. And it's interesting though. So I wanted to point something out. So from within the Caribbean, our Caribbean brothers and sisters and our African brothers and sisters, when I came from Scotland, there was this great divide. And this is where culture comes into play, because what
festivals.
Yes, that is what has helped to heal some of that rift or that gap. Our music, our films. A lot of Jamaican Caribbean people are watching Nollywood and they love it. It resonates with them, Our music, Burna Boy, Afrobeat. I mean, Afrobeat has taken over the world. Yeah. You go into Boots and they're playing Burna Boy.
For instance, when I was in, a lot of Ghanaians think they are from young Gen Zs. They think, with their hair, they think they are from Jamaica.
Okay, yes.
Wow, look at them.
Yes, we are adopting and influence, each other. So I think that has definitely helped to heal the bridge or mend the bridge between Africa and Caribbean. But interestingly, there's starting to become a rift between them. I mean, I don't know if I'm overstepping here by saying that, but there's a perceived rift or divide starting with American and Africans. I'm seeing quite a bit of things on social media. I don't know if I read into it too much. But there seems to be this thing of, Americans are like this, Africans are like that. It's like they've taken the place of the Caribbeans and the Jamaicans, Caribbean and Africans. We're starting to, some say that the Africans are looked down on the Americans because they don't know, where they came from or all those sorts of things. And then some of the Americans are saying that we're not African, we were already in America before the slave trade began, which is very possible. However, I'm just noticing that there seems to be something happening there, and it's unpleasant to see.
As Black people.
Yes.
And I like the fact that you said culture festival brings us together.
Yes.
For instance, the Black Beauty Fashion Awards. It's the moment you mention of Black, whether African, whether Caribbean, whether American, you call yourself.
You're welcome.
I resonate with that award.
Yes.
This award belongs to me. This award is designed for me.
Yes. I'm very, very pleased to say that we have, the platform is designed to support businesses, and I can say that, some of our award winners have gone on to, like Afrocentrics, for example, they were able to sell their company. It's now worth $12 million. I have another company, Design Essentials. They have been in business for 30, 40 years. They've been doing hair. They invented Soft Rafro, Soft and Free, those ancient brands. And they are now wanting to venture into the beauty industry. Some of our winners, Mimi's Organics, gone on to write books, set up farms for farming raw materials in the likes of Botswana for the cosmetics industry. So, I'm pleased that we are having an impact in some regard with some businesses, and we hope to do a lot more. So the Black Beauty and Fashion Africa Trade Festival is our next installment. We will be celebrating Black beauty, fashion, wellness and technology on the continent. We're bringing key decision makers from some key areas, Ghana, of course, South Africa, Kenya and Nigeria. We're primarily focusing on these areas, but all Africans are welcome. And it's really because they have more established fashion and beauty industries and tech hubs in those regions. And the idea is that there'll be lots of vendors and it's talks and seminars, a little bit of music in there as well, a bit of entertainment. It's who we are. It's who we are. So I'm looking forward to that. But we are sort of opening our doors with the face of the Black Beauty and Fashion Awards Africa. So what we're looking for is a beautiful young woman up to the age of 30, 16 to 30, or 18 to 30 rather, sorry, who is beautiful but also has a business idea. And her business idea should be within the beauty, fashion, tech or wellness industry. And we will provide 12 months of mentoring, small cash, donation to invest and get in a business, maybe some feasibility studies, doing the prototype, whatever it might take, just the inception stage. We will invite them to the trade festival, also to the awards. We will put them in a hotel, and we will give them that 12 months of business support. And we hope to give them other opportunities just by working alongside us with other beauty, fashion and wellness brands across the Africa terrain. So it's an exciting time for us. We're all about women's empowerment, along with helping to change the narrative. Made in Africa is a great vision, and it just sounds nice when you say it, made in Africa. I like that.
Made in Africa.
Yes.
Proudly made in Africa.
Proudly made in Africa.
For Africans.
For Africans. For us, by us.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like the fact that you are trying to send this award back home, of which, from the deadly voyage now to...
From my Boko Haram days. And you know what? Because when I went to Nigeria, so I obviously went there to help train and help establish this business. I went there with... I wanted to take my experiences from here and share, and with the best bits from there and the best bits from here, it can be a great fusion. One of the things that I wanted, this lady, she left Nigeria for a reason. She could have, in my opinion, employed someone from, there were 200 million people in Nigeria, so there must have been somebody. But I guess there was something else that she was looking for. So I wanted to make sure that I was bringing something a bit extra. So as well as my abilities and my skill set, I also wanted to bring my soft skills into play, because there's a way that we can do business that is ethical and kind. Sometimes we can be a bit strong and harsh back home. So I rewarded my team with, staff staff outstanding performance of the month or outstanding performer of the week. And I went with accessories, jewelry, lots of gifts, things from England. And they were just another case for them so that I could give them at the right time. And then hopefully what they can say is that we had a lovely lady come from England, you know, UK. She came here, she trained us. This is what we taught us. This is what she taught us. And we want to now share that as well, you know. So I believe in the circle of life. And if we can, you know, share and help, hopefully someone will also share and help somebody else too, you know?
Okay. Sherry, what makes you black and proud?
Wow. You know, okay, so, you know, the word black, you know, we know, I use it politically, but I can't identify as black in that sense, because when I look at it, it's a color. And, you know, being a color and being beautiful, I'm more than that. So I would say I'm African first and foremost, a Nigerian, and I'm a Pan-Africanist, you know. I believe in that unity and us coming together. And I don't believe, like yourself, that we should divide ourselves based on where we're coming from. So what makes me, you know, a beautiful African woman? I would say maybe for the most part, my forgiving nature, my humanity. I think that beauty is not skin deep. I think your beauty comes from inside out. You know, you can wear the best makeup, have the flashiest of clothes that make you look amazing, but if your soul, if your spirit, your energy is not particularly pleasant or uplifting, you know, some people in this life will either become a battery drainer or a battery charger. So I'm a battery charger. That's how I see myself. I will charge you. I will not here to drain you. You know, if you move with me, it can only be better for it. Yes.
What are some of the categories that you've instituted in your awards that...
Oh, so I can't tell you all my secrets today. We will save some. But one of the things that we are... that's really important for us is about diversity and inclusion. And it might sound odd for Africans in Africa to be thinking about diversity, but we are so diverse and we don't understand ourselves. And, you know, you ask me what does it mean to be black? Ask an albino person in Africa if they identify as a black person, you know? So it's more than our complexion. It's about our culture. It's about our heritage. It's about our traditions. It's about our beliefs. It's about our outlook. It's about our orientations as well.
Yeah. And a letter just came in.
Oh, a letter, yes.
From the Broward County.
Yes, Broward County in Florida. Yes. I'm so pleased, actually. I just received this letter this week after some fruitful conversations. So I was invited to bring the Black Beauty and Fashion brand to Florida, but I'm so passionate about doing the show and the event at home. I think we just needed more there initially. So I'll be going to Florida next month to promote the award. But in the meantime, they've given me a title, which is Ambassador for Trade for the Africa region. So if you're an African business, you have a product or services, and you imagine and dream about possibly being in America, I can help facilitate that access through Florida. So I'm honored for the title because it really encapsulates the work that I've been doing up until now and gives me a greater platform to help more people and businesses to succeed. So I'm very happy about that. Yeah.
Wow, that's great. That's great. So, Cherry,
yes,
from your cosmetic side, scientist, I know there was a time I went to this. Okay, let me go back with this, right? I was having challenges with my face when I started my YouTube channel.
Okay.
Yes. And there was a time a friend of mine was like, why don't you go to Westfields and go into this expensive beauty what do you call it, stores and get some makeup. So I was like, okay, I needed this. So I took myself, went to this big beauty makeup where you
Yes,
you
a
used to
big
work.
beauty counter, yes.
So when I
They can be
just
quite
entered-
intimidating, can't they, as well?
I just entered. I saw the one lady just coming. I was like, I want the black lady there because she will know my skin. That I don't want anyone coming to talk to me. And later I go home and I just put up the makeup on because my fear was that I didn't want to look different on set and different when people see me. I just wanted to be someone that someone can identify me because YouTube is not more of like, it's more of like you're just giving people solution. You're not there to be a TV host or be a celebrity. So your is to create content, to inform, to educate, to also entertain. So I was not looking at the glam side of it, coming from someone that had been behind the scene and I know the work that goes in front of the camera. I was like, look, I've had the whole I've known the out and about of this whole industry, so I don't want to be someone someone will see me and go like, is this guy? But this guy is different on set. So in terms of products, we have a lot of products, brands.
Yes.
And I always go like, these brands were not made with us in mind.
Yes. In most cases, no. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
When it comes to our skincare, what's quite interesting. So the skin, cut at me and we shall bleed. We all bleed the same, right? But actually, we are different.
Yeah.
We have a different skin structure. So I can tell you that, say, an African skin versus Caucasian skin. So there's like some major layers to the skin. You have the epidermis, then you have the dermis, then you have the subcutaneous layer. So the epidermis is the skin that if you were to scratch and hard and you were to draw blood, you've now reached the dermis. So the epidermis is that thin. But the epidermis itself in black skin has about 5 to 7 layers, whereas in our Caucasian brothers and sisters, they have 5 layers. So we have more layers. Then we have a thicker dermis that has more collagen and more elastin, which is what gives it its elasticity. And on top of that, then we have a melanin, which is darker. That pigment helps to absorb the sun UV rays and acts as a protection for the skin. And then the skin cells itself, it's not flat like this table. It's made of little blocks. So all these blocks are held together like a brick house, and the cement is sebum. And our bricks are more densely packed and our concrete, our sebum, is more thicker. So it makes our skin more robust, actually. So it means that if you are buying an exfoliating product and it's made by, let's say, Boots the Chemist or Superdrug, for example, and it'll say it's for all skin types, it's most likely been tested on the majority of the people that might use this product. And if we are in United Kingdom, majority of people will be white. It's not geared towards our skin. So it'd be more geared towards their type of skin. And so the packaging might say this can be used just twice a week. But our skin is different and so can withstand more. So we would actually use that product, in my opinion, I would say use it maybe 3 times a week. Twice would not be sufficient for your skin if you want to get the same outcome as the other person that would be using that product, right? So in terms of purchasing your products as well, I would always look at the ingredients. Products, the ingredients in terms of the content are listed in the order of predominance. So the largest quantity comes first, and most products have water in them. So you'll see aqua as the first ingredient. Your skincare, pretty much the first maybe 5 to 7, 8 ingredients make up the bulk of the performance of that product. So you want to base your shopping on ingredients. And I will use food as an example. If you like pastries like cheese and onion, for example, cheese and onion pastry, if you were to buy one from a supermarket, and if you looked at the ingredients, it would say most likely potato, onion, then cheese, followed by a number of other, wheat and salt and all of those bits and bobs. So what you've actually bought is not a cheese and onion pasty, a potato and onion with cheese pasty, okay? So reading your ingredients for products and even your food nowadays as well is the best way to go. Do not buy your products based on the label, what it says on the outside, based on the ingredients. Yes.
Now we're going to take our whole interview to a lighter side.
Okay.
Our first video that I did post 2 days ago was the Jollof war.
Okay. Hacha!
And I told you in the video of which one of my friends was.
I would never get over that.
I have to repeat it, so if you don't watch this video, and he's black as well. It's not like the person is white too. It's just that.
What school did he go to?
He's from. I think he's.
And where's he from?
He's half Caribbean and half African from Cote d'Ivoire.
Okay.
So he was like, "Oh." I was having this conversation with him, and I was like, "Oh, you're Nigerian." I was like, "No, I'm not Nigerian. I'm Ghanaian, but you are the same." So when he said you are the same as a Pan-African, I was like, "Yeah, we are the same.
Yeah.
We come from the same culture. We come from the same land. We have this similar cultures. We have similar. We have our ancestors are the same. So you are." So he was like, "Okay," and the next message was, I know Ghana is a small country in Nigeria. Then I was like,
a small country in Nigeria.
You know those banter that we used to have on Twitter? A lot of Nigerians go like,
Yes.
Ghana is smaller than so you people should keep quiet. So I asked him, where did you get this information from? I saw it on Twitter. I was like, oh, this Twitter banter. You know, Ghanaians and one thing I love about this banter is we will go at each other. But the moment another country comes to attack one of each, they will just jump that and both of them will attack. And I go like, what is this? We are fighting over Jollof. And there was a day I was like, do you know what? Jollof is a sophisticated food. Why don't you guys fight over Gary Soakins? Because both Ghana and Nigeria have Gary Soakins. We're always fighting over Jollof. Which of course, Jollof was not invented by us.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
If you gave me more information about it, I was Senegal, you were like, no, it's...
So it comes from Senegal, but before Senegal was named Senegal, it was the Kingdom of Jollof.
Oh.
Or some say it was Kingdom of Wolof. And actually, they spoke Wolof. So, Kingdom of Jollof, and they spoke Wolof.
Even they are not claiming the best Jollof in Africa.
Well, if you speak to a Senegalese, they will though.
But the way that we are Ghanaians and Nigerians
our voices are loud. Yes, everywhere you go.
Like, Jollof was... I was like, no, Jollof was invented by Senegal.
They're shocked. What do you mean?
What do you mean? I'm lost. But you guys are always talking about Jollof and fighting about Jollof. And I was like, that is what the Ghana and Nigeria can do on Twitter. They will claim things that's...
Twitter can be dangerous, honestly. But Jollof has been adopted by everyone now, you know? People from the Caribbean are having it. White guys are going to Nigerian restaurants, giving some Jollof. So Jollof is really, it's spread its tentacles into all parts of the earth. I wouldn't be surprised if we've got someone cooking Jollof in Japan right now.
Yeah, no, it won't surprise
I'm sure of it.
In North Korea.
North Korea, there we go. Yeah, with the noodles on the side.
That has been lovely. I mean, that has been lovely over the years, and I like the fact that we all call ourselves Pan-African and as well able to accommodate. I like that because personally, coming to UK made me get into contact with a lot of Caribbeans, and I've seen how, like, for instance, my best colleague, someone that I always talk to who is a friend of mine, is Caribbean. I do have Nigerians who are my friends, and it's lovely. I also go to, like, for instance, this year, for instance, I wanted to go to the Caribbean, that much of which I might not do, but next year for sure,
we should go together.
We should go. Like, I want to go and see my fellow brothers and sisters, and
we'll go with Norma. We'll take Norma with us.
We'll go with Norma, and coming here has given me a different perception of how the Caribbeans are, because when they used to talk about the Caribbeans, I was like, I only knew about Black Americans as other Black people living on the other side. But the Caribbean was like, huh? What are you guys talking about? Then,
and that
when I was young, and I came to this country, and they were telling me about stories about Nanny, and I was like, look, I read history. That was the when I had to zip my mouth that I don't know. Look, because I look at the curriculum in Africa as just talking about the slave trade, but we have a lot of heroes and heroines who are not even from the African settings, but they have helped a lot of Black people around the world. I read history, and I was reading history of USA during university, and I came here and I got to hear of Nanny of the Maroons. They asked me, I was like, who is Nanny of the Maroons? And they were like, she was from Ghana. She did help a lot of, like, these are the stories that we want to hear.
Definitely.
So that we will know, like, look, even though there was some stuff that happened to us, we had heroes, the people who were there to help us, so that as a Black person I can go like, look, I want to be the Nanny of Maroon. And these are the stories. I want to hear stories of that, not stories about slave trade and all things. Like, for instance, I did my English, I did my life in UK test. I did not see anything about slave trade in their history, but I want to see inspiring stories that Black people can resonate with it.
Absolutely.
I don't want to, like, and it gave me a different perception of who I am as a Black person.
Yes. It's critical. And, you know, I think that it might have something to do with and
even before we got on set, we were talking about some American Marcus Garvey and all those things. These are the stories that I want to hear as a Black person. And our young people, our youngsters need to know look, even during our struggle, we had people who were pioneers, who were trailblazers. And
that is a travesty, because a lot of people feel that, number one, okay, Africans sold Africans into slavery. Yes, to an extent, but it didn't happen the way that they imagine it happened. Like, hey, take a slave. You know, it wasn't like that. And then also looking at, what did you just say a minute ago about...
Nanny of Maroon.
Yes. So during the transatlantic slave trade, we had so many heroes. You know, we fought back. We were not complacent, you know. So throughout history, and even
back in Africa, Santua, they all were fighting against.
There we go. Slavery. You know, they don't tell these stories. And I feel that there is, you know, the reality is this. I feel that they keep regurgitating that story in many different formats, from 12 Years a Slave to Roots. It's like they just want to re-traumatize us. I decided maybe 5 to 10 years ago that I will not watch any movie, even till but, you know, the American women who fought to free the slaves. I've not watched any of them because I do not wish to be re-traumatized. I love myself. I know who I am. You know, I'm Pan-African. I work with my fellow brothers and sisters. I don't need you to re-traumatize me, to try to remind me directly and indirectly that you believe I am nothing, that the system is built against me. No matter how much I try, I'm never going to make it. I will not watch stuff like that, you know. I'm careful what I eat and what I see and what I listen to, you know.
And
so
I want to hear inspiring stories.
There we go.
And I was like, this...
It's not uplifting.
From that time, I was like... I better shut up on my mouth. I never read history because I was like, these are the people. Nanny of Maroon was something that I should have known when I was in primary school, not when I came to UK and my fellow Caribbeans are telling me, oh, do you know of Nanny of Maroon? And I was like, who is she? And they were like, oh.
And in honor of Black History Month, you know, I will say that, you know, Black history is not for 1 month, you know. Black history is world history. If it happened to us, it happened to the world. Because you know why? Civilization began in Africa. So it can't be Black history. It's world history, you know? And we need more inspiring tales to inspire and edify us so that we know that anything is possible. And it begins with people like you, because you are also storytelling through your, you know, Studio 88.
Of which we have created the Black Creator Stories, of which Black creatives will be coming on my show to share their stories. Yes.
Amazing.
And you were the opener of this whole Black History Month on
I'm so
Lifestyle
honored.
with Fiifi. And
I'm so honored, you know.
thank you very much.
You're most welcome.
Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you
very much for coming.